I know. This thing isn't gonna put itself back together. I gotta get to work. I've been busy, been traveling a lot, and just haven't had time to get in the garage. So we're back, ready to get this thing put back together. I'm still gonna be doing a little bit of traveling over the next couple of months, but hopefully I can find time in between to get this thing put back together. I'm really missing my car and I wanna get driving again. So let's get back to work. Welcome to GB9 Garage. Okay, so if I remember correctly, and hopefully I do, where we left off was I gotta put these exhaust manifolds back on now that I got everything buttoned up. So the little studs, the Aston Martin once, I think for the whole set of 24 was 350 bucks. And I felt that was a little bit outrageous. So I went and got some from Napa. The fit perfect. They're a little long on the outside, but on the inside they still fit fine. So I checked the depth to make sure these weren't going to bottom out before they got into the block, and they don't. So we should be good to go. So let's get these installed and get these exhaust manifolds back on here. Okay, so I got all 12 of those installed. You can see they're all in there, and they're a little bit longer than the old ones were as far as how far they stick out. But I don't think it's crazy, and I don't think it should be an issue. The manifold's going to be there anyway, so it's just going to stick out a little bit further than it did before. But again, I think it'll be fine. So I could be using the impact gun to put these in, but it just kind of freaks me out to be using that, putting some in the block in case something's not threaded properly. Definitely do not want to strip out the block. So just going to do it the old-fashioned way and the slow way, but we'll get it done. We'll start with this side first. There's 4 gaskets, 2 per side. They look like they're all exactly the same. They're all stamped with the same part number. So should be able to get this one on this side. It's a little easier. There's no dipstick on this side. Like I got one of the bolts in wrong spot. It's odd, like in the middle cylinder or the 3rd cylinder in, for some reason there's 4 threaded holes around the whole thing, but there's not in the manifold. So yeah, I don't know what that's all about. Let's fix that. Yeah, one thing I find interesting is that the way the bolt pattern is for the manifolds, you put one of the gaskets in basically with all of the stamps coming at you, and then you basically have to flip it over for the other bank, so then the stamps are kind of facing in. So a little different each side, but you know, for the most part, I don't see this as any different one way or the other. It's exactly the same. So should be good. Get a couple of nuts on here to hold this thing on. Looks like I'm gonna need an extension. All right, let me get this bolted up and we'll go from there. All right, I got all those on nice and tight, at least impact wrench tight, so not that much, but they're on there. I got to torque them down in the right order, so the manual lays out the exact order to torque them down. Between 18 and 22 Newton meters, converts to about 177 inch pounds at 20 Newton meters. So that's where I'm gonna go. Let's get these done. So of all the things on this project that you would think would not be that hard, putting these silly shrouds back on these exhaust manifolds has proven to be quite challenging. The other side was a total pain in the butt, but I finally got it. So we're getting there. I ended up having to use the shrouds from the right manifold. The holes were just in a slightly different spot for each manifold. So I was trying to put the new manifold's shroud on the old manifold, and that wasn't working. So anyway, went back to the old shroud, working perfect. So I should be able to get this thing buttoned up here shortly. All right, as you can see, I got the exhaust manifolds back on, got the shrouds all back on, got the O2 sensors back in, got the O2 sensors back in. I'll leave these here. Yeah, so kind of just get this thing squared away. I'm gonna put the intake manifolds on after I put it back in the subframe because I think it'll be easier to grab this thing with the straps without those big wings hanging over the side. So I think just get this thing kind of ready. I'm gonna put the oil filter back on this side. So just need to go ahead and put the oil filter back on here. Obviously got all these manifolds back on, these shrouds back on. I think this thing's ready to go back in the subframe. Starting to put this thing back together. This is awesome. Okay, today was a pretty good day. I think I got this thing pretty much ready to go back in that subframe. So we're getting there. I'm gonna go ahead and replace those PCV valves probably tomorrow morning. And then get this thing strapped up and ready to lift up in the air on that A-frame again. So it's getting pretty close, it's getting pretty exciting. Once I start putting this thing back in the frame, it's gonna start feeling like I might have a car again soon. So anyway, stay tuned for next time. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.